I just take this off. Should I just turn this off altogether?
You might have to.
Yeah. Okay.
You might have to.
Yeah. All that it appeared then, didn't it? Okay. All that it appeared then, didn't it? Okay. Right. So, okay, I've got sound now.
Yes, you have sound.
I have sound. Okay, so I'm going to turn myself off here. Okay, so I don't echo. So it's there for the messaging, guys. So I can read the messages coming through. So, okay, you see that? We don't want to see that, do we? A bit lower down, and then I'll just lower there. Sorry, guys. Here we go. They can see a tad better.
The sound quality will be poor,
Yeah.
but some is better than none on this instance.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it delayed? I see myself as delayed. Sorry, guys. I do really apologise for a. Normally, when I do the live stream, I use the StreamYard, but obviously because I'm doing this live and I'm now streaming live from the YouTube directly, for some reason it wants me to stream this way, which is, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. And for some reason the microphone, YouTube doesn't accept it for that. As you can see, all been connected, but didn't work. So I know you can see the thing. So I have to make sure when I aim something, I'm going to be aiming and showing you what to do. So again, just to double check, everybody is okay with seeing me and hearing me? Please confirm, and then I'll proceed. Just thumbs up, anything, just to
Yeah, you've got.
yeah. Numbers are confirming. Anybody just type? Fine. Oh, fine. Okay. Right. Okay. Daniel, thank you for your assistance.
Right.
Would you like to thank people for subscribing to your channel as you are here?
Yes. For those that have subscribed to my channel, thank you very much. I shall now leave you with the amateur, and the professional will exit the room.
Yes. Thank you.
Excusez-moi.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Thank you very much. Sorry guys, total hash up. I doubt I'll be publishing this one after we're finished. But anyway, I don't do this kind of thing live, like ever. I don't think I haven't done this before. So before I go, is there any questions, guys, of any kind before I sort of proceed and start my talking like I'm talking to a camera and filming? Might as well just fire them away now, otherwise we shall go ahead. God, the lights are blinding, sorry. If I'm doing this, that means I've been blinded by the light when I try to read the screen. So, okay. It is delay. I do apologise. There is a delay between obviously me speaking and the things appearing. So, okay. Been stockpiling again. Yes, I have been. As you go. No, if you watched the whatever I mentioned on my previous stock up video, When I do obviously go shopping, I always buy specific things like that. And it's not something that I go buy in a single go, if that makes sense. I normally buy things like pastas and rices all the time. I don't necessarily show them on my little shopping spree videos, and I just put them, they just sit in the spare room until I have the time to deal with that. I find this, because of it is time consuming, obviously I've got a little one as well, and it's just trying to find time to do it. And I find it's easier just to have a selection and then have a session of doing this rather than doing bits and bobs at the same time. It's totally my personal choice, but that's why I thought it's a good idea to kind of go live. And if anybody's got any questions whilst I'm doing that, then you can guys fire them at me. It's as I've covered, I think, a few things on the videos before, but I appreciate I had quite a few extra subscribers over the past couple of months. So many people are just starting out, so and just still learning, aren't we? So anyway, so here we go. I can barely see the messages. Anyway, so guys, right, let's start with then. So yes, all of that is not something I bought. It's been done over the past like couple of months. I've just been putting stuff away, and it's time to deal with. So before we proceed, because I know some of you have been messaging for a few questions and just asking things about either Mylar bagging or vacuum packing. So I'm going to cover this quickly first, so you kind of understand if you're totally new to the whole idea, and then I'll proceed and just going to start packaging my stuff. So let's start with Mylar bags, okay? One of the main things, guys, I think as a prepper, is to have yourself Mylar bags. They come in different shapes and sizes. Okay, you've seen me using them before. I had those for a really long time ago. They're really huge. They take like 5 kilos of like rice or anything, and they've got a base, like really thick base. You buy them online, okay, but a specific few companies that do them. They're like a commercial size bags, and they do cost I think about £1 a piece, and you can only buy them in a pack of 100. So unfortunately, it's kind of investment. It's a pricey one, but it is an investment nonetheless. And then you can buy things like this again on eBay, on Amazon. You probably know that it's been quite a bit of a shortage at certain points because everybody kind of rushed in to buy them when they start prepping. So again, you can buy them little ones with a little bases, yeah, and you can buy them the ones that are just flat. I prefer them with a base, but it's a bit difficult to find them, and if you can, the prices go through the roof. They are approximately half size of A4, and they're pretty much my go-to size alongside of the big black ones. They're just kind of comfortable size for me personally, but you can buy them half the size. You can just pretty much get what you want. At the moment, the good prices are on eBay. I've bought a little while back, I think I got about 100 of them, or 200, I can't remember, but yeah, quite a lot of them, and I think I only paid like £12–13, so it's worth keeping your eye out, okay? And at the same time, when you do buy them, whether you've seen me doing a video or not, this is not a Mylar bag, okay? If I just compare this, it's very important, okay? Sorry, I'm hopefully get to see that on camera. There's a difference, you can see a difference in color, okay, and a difference in texture and in thickness. So the proper Mylar bags, the idea is obviously, guys, you use them. They are foil lined and plastic lined, so they have 3 layers, okay, to make them what they are. Basically, the idea is they are damp proof or moisture proof and a light proof. So when you look through that on the light, you can't see through. So this is the kind of Mylar bag that you want. And this kind of stuff is just single layer, something they use like to put electrical items. And when you suddenly put this to the light, you can see through that. This is not a Mylar bag. This is Chinese like copies. There's a lot of it about. Hence, I'm showing you this because I bought this. They advertised that is this, and when it arrived, it was clear that is absolute nonsense. And yeah, obviously complaint went in. So be careful because we don't know what it's made of. No idea. They generally smell a bit. So yeah, it's not something I would be putting my food in. So be careful when you do that. Right. So when we're using, guys, the Mylar bags, okay, we have to use oxygen absorbers. This is what the people refer to. It's not the same as a moisture absorbers or silica gel. Silica gel takes moisture out. Oxygen absorber takes oxygen out, and this is what we use with the Mylar bags, okay? Because oxygen, that's what spoils our products, okay? So this is why we're using that in a Mylar bag. I suggest, again, you buy yourself a individually wrapped oxygen absorbers, okay? I'll put the link down below or publish this on community posts because probably not going to be posting this video afterwards. But nonetheless, individually packaged one, at the moment you can buy 500cc for tenner, which is a really, really good price. The ones that come in a one big bag, it's a bit of a problem because those guys start to work as soon as you expose them to an oxygen. So they'll start soaking in oxygen and basically start to deplete themselves. So if you have to constantly open the jar, take one, close the jar, over the time, the ones that you have remaining will get ruined. So it's best always to have to go for the ones like that. As for the size, okay, it's provided we're trusting the size in the oxygen absorbers. They are 500cc, so they roughly will take all the oxygen out of approximately 5-litre bag, which is the black ones. However, unfortunately, guys, they do fail because it's just how it is. Obviously, majority of them are made in China, and I go to the extreme of putting 2 in the big ones just in case one fails. So let me just see if there's anything else. Okay, if you do have questions, because I see you're going to be talking potentially between yourself, put this in capitals. It makes it easier for me to read with the lights, and yeah, just easier to spot that. So anyway, so that's that, okay? Mylar bags that get sealed with either heat press, or in this instance, I'll be using the hair straighteners. Because they are like plastic, obviously we'll melt this, make it totally airtight. Okay, so as it comes to the vacuum sealer, okay, this is the vacuum sealer, okay, you get to see that. This one is by brand Bonson Kitchen, okay, I bought this one about last year, but prior to this I had one from Lidl for £20, and that was the best vacuum sealer, but unfortunately it's packed up, the strip got broken. So I bought this, it's okay, but it's taken quite a long time for it to work in the seal. Again, that was about £24. I can put the link for it if I can still find it, and you can guys have a look, because I know some of you were interested in what I use. There is many things, you can buy them for like £100. Some of them are stupid, but to be fair, if my £20 works, then I don't see the need spending that kind of money on the vacuum sealer. They do come with the some of them with the hoses, and you have an attachment like the vacuum ones. They've got 2, so that means you can seal your jars like this. This is too big for this one, this is for the wide mouth, but it does have I do have a smaller one, and you can vacuum seal your jars as well. Though saying that, they don't always work that well, so yeah, it's just a bit of a gimmicky, but it could work. So right, okay, so next thing then, so the vacuum sealer, guys, we're using those kind of bags. You can get them on the roll, or you can get them pre-cut sizes. One side is smooth, one side is rippled, so that what gives us an option, guys, when you put this in your vacuum sealer. The little ripples there will allow the vacuum machine to suck the air out, yeah, and then it glues it back together. They have to be those kind of bags, because if you have a normal food bag, both sides of the food bag are smooth, and vacuum sealer wouldn't have space to suck the air out, so basically it wouldn't work. With those things as well, guys, if you are obviously thinking of buying some, cheaper doesn't mean always better. Thin ones, okay, don't last that long, and they generally just don't last forever anyway. I'll actually show you an example in a minute. If you can pick up a bag, okay, or a roller bag, if you can pull your fingers and you can pull on it, if it starts stretching, like literally really easy, return them. It's just no good. In this instance, guys, thicker the better, because they do get over the time allow the air in, and they can rip. So if I show you an example quickly, okay, I have 2 examples. This is one of the main reasons I had stopped using the vacuum sealer in many instances. I had here with some leeks, okay, dehydrated leeks, that I thought would be a good idea to put away vacuum sealer until I have a chance to repackage into something else. But you can see here the bag, it's totally leaked air, so to me it's deemed that useless. Okay, this was 2023, March 23. Nonetheless, they failed. Another example, guys, flour. It was vacuum sealed. It's great whilst it lasts, but they just don't last that long. And again, I've been trying this with many brands of the bags, and they don't cheap out. But I found, to be fair, the little bags, when they have them, they actually seem to last just that little bit longer. But the point is, if you are intending to package this for a really long term, just don't rely on that, because if that happens with all of your flour, you know, that means the air leak is there, that means the bugs can get in there, and it's just, unfortunately, it's not always what it seems to be. So for your kind of short term, that's absolutely fine. If you leave them there, try not to touch them, it's a-okay. But yeah, otherwise they're great for freezing meat, that kind of thing. But for preparedness, for me personally, guys, it's a short-term solution. Long-term will be the Mylar bags. And this is an example of what happens to a Mylar bag when you put the oxygen absorber in. Okay, you can see that it's kind of sucked in. Yeah, so basically it burns all the oxygen. It's basically like a reaction. It's a rust reaction. Okay, so it consumes oxygen and it will suck the air out. Not everything will look that sucked in, like powders and things don't really work that well. So anyway, let's get it going. So, any questions? Hold on a second. No, you guys all good so far? Any questions so far before I go on into doing? Do excuse me, I'm gonna just turn the lights off a bit because I literally get blinded and I can't see. Hold on, hopefully. Okay. Hopefully it's not too much problem for you guys, sorry. Okay. So no questions for the moment? Do I freeze my flour before storing? No, I don't. And I don't know whether I mentioned this once before. I know it's a great idea. People say you have to freeze that because apparently it freezes the eggs that have been in the flour or could potentially be in the flour. I found it, and I've done this with the rice. My point is, guys, when you freeze flour, say you freeze this in a block. Hold on, let me refer to my block again. So you vacuum packed it, put this in the freezer, so it will freeze this. So it will be really, really cold on the inside. So when you take it out after, say, a few days, you know, and then you put it into one place to defrost it kind of thing, so it comes to the temperature, and then potentially repackage that. You've no idea. You could still dispense and take the flour out, but you've no idea the moisture content left in that flour. So, and I know I heard many stories, people freeze that because you assume, oh yes, it's sat there, it's defrosted, you know, it's a-okay, but straight in the middle, it could still be moisture, and you'd be none the wiser. So you can then just vacuum pack it, or, you know, put it in a Mylar bag straight in the packet, and you might have the moisture still there. And then, you know, last thing you want to do, guys, like 20 years down the line, or however many years, is to open it up and you find out that you have wet and it's all gone moldy, because you won't know. And the same is with rice. I stopped doing that before. I did like vacuum pack rice, put this in the freezer, but then I don't know the condition of rice when it comes out, and then putting it into big bags for a really long time, it's just not worth it. So to me, guys, as we know, oxygen absorbers will take oxygen, so nothing can really live or survive without the oxygen. So to me, no, I don't choose to do this. And to be fair, the space they will take, you know, for 4 days in the freezer. Depends, if you've got loads of space, you can probably put them in, but I certainly don't do that, and just out of this principle alone. And neither do I do with rice. It's you can, I know I've seen people, you can bake a flour again in the oven so you can kill the eggs. I've done this with my beans when I've been buying wholesale, big like black beans, whatever. I put them in the oven for about half an hour, 40 minutes at about 60 degrees. That will kill any potential eggs or bugs if they were inside it. So then you can cool them down 100%, and then you can repackage them and put them away. So that's that. Right. So, right, any other questions, guys? Oh, I can barely read that, sorry. Okay, I don't think there is anyway, but so next thing, right, let's talk about quickly pasta. Right, I have, and many of you get wondering whether you need to have like oxygen absorbers or Mylar bag pastas. You could absolutely put your pastas in like Mylar bags, but considering the price and considering the volumes, if you're stocking a lot of pasta, is going to be a very costly option to do that, okay? And pasta is quite sharp as well, so if you kind of vacuum it, you know, you potentially can rip the bag and it won't work. So I don't do anything to my pasta apart from repackaging this only recently in a plastic containers for the ease of storing and stacking it up. I know somebody commented when I did my cupboard, that you wanted to sort of, you try to find the containers that are the same, because it does make it easy to fill specific space. So to give an example with the pastas, okay, I had some pastas, and I mentioned this many times ago, 7 years past the date. It was sitting in the normal bags, a little bit thicker than the other bags there were, but it was absolutely fine. It was under my stairs under the stairs cupboard with the carpet. It was nothing wrong with them for a very long time, and we literally gone through that over the time. So it just tells you nothing really wants to live in a pasta. Things more likely to choose a grain, so that's why I don't bother. What I do choose to have is, I said, I've got myself some of those tall containers, and for the ease of things, I've been repackaging pasta. So, for example, like I have a spaghetti, which I've been prioritizing, okay? I prefer them because you can stack them easily. I just put them in the jars without even taking them out of the bags. You can do, but make sure that there's no bugs from if you store this next to rice or in the shop. Make sure you check, right, the seams there, basically on the glued edges and in between here, because I found some Asda rice that had some flour mites in there, and that was a bit of a shocker, okay? So before you put anything away with your main stock, make sure you check, because there could be some bugs from different places. So just wipe your packages as well. Okay, and then I just like shove them in here, and here we go. It's in there. Right, I didn't count how many I've got in there. 2. Okay, so 3 kilos of spaghetti goes in there. Those things come with, they're like a sweet jars, right? So they've got like a foamy thing, so it's kind of airtight enough. And as well, guys, with those plastic containers, the bugs won't really eat through that. They're more likely to eat through your bag, but not through a plastic container. And when I do my tour of my medium term, like with the dry dehydrated goods, you'll see I've got a lot of those used. And if you've got shelves, they just stack up really, really well, and they're just kind of handy. So, right, next thing, let's go with, so again, I've been doing this anyway. My macaronis that I bought, okay, I'm just going to wash them in there. Again, there's nothing. You don't. It is a messy job. Messy job. And funny thing, not funny thing really, but if I do this, guys, on the video, you know, you can cut most things out. But generally, it gets messy. If you've got a lot of stuff to do, it just happens. Stuff goes everywhere. So, here we are. But yes, guys, nothing really wants to live in a pasta. Okay, because in a rice or any other grains, the bugs eat through the shell, go inside and lay eggs in there. In a pasta, they're not really interested. I know some people say to get the weevils, but if you want to, you can put a bay leaf if you wanted to. But let's get the lid. For fact, to let you know as well, bay leaves are apparently meant to be deterrents for the weevils and flower mites. And I can assure you guys, it doesn't work. It makes your pantry smell nicer, but generally, if the weevils want to get in there, or in fact, if they're already there, they've got nowhere to go. So bay leaves, for me, unfortunately, don't always work. Although I do still put them in my shelves, just in case of deterrent for from something else. Okay, right, that's out. I got to be putting that stuff somewhere, okay? So I do apologise. I get to move backwards. Right. So let's go with, I think I'm going to do those little peas, right? So you might have seen, oh wait, any questions, guys, with the pasta? Let's do it this way. If you've got any questions about the pasta, and then I'll move on to something else then. Any questions, guys, if you put in like Q in capitals? No, okay, all right, I just move on then. I'm gonna try and read this afterwards if that comes through. So, as well, another thing, again, I've been buying a few of those, and you've seen me showing them on my little shopping things, right? The little dried peas. They used to be, actually, I have one here, they used to be 50p, they've gone up to 65p. They are from Tesco's, the ones like that. Again, a couple of them sat on the shelf for a little while, I haven't done anything with them. they are steaming peas, the ones you basically stew into like a soup or something else. But last year, okay, I used them to grow peas. And I think I mentioned that in my gardening videos. They grow really well, but they grow more into a very tall plant with very little peas. All they does produce peas. And those peas are bitter as hell. But the point is, right, you can, it comes with a steeping tablet. But the point is, those peas are really, really good for doing your microgreens. Okay, they sprout super easy, and for that kind of price, it is very, very good. So if you do choose to grow them, okay, they're good for that. Basically, my point is with those, I'm just going to put them in a jar. Again, I'm not going to bother with the oxygen absorber or anything with that, because I'm solely keeping them for potentially doing the pea shoots, sprouting them up. So it would help if I used the scissors, right? But no, let's go and rip the bag. So you can see they're very kind of dull looking colour. So there we go. I wonder if I can fit all three in there. Look at that. Yeah, those jars, if anybody's wondering, they are from Home Bargains, because I know, guys, the ball jars or kiln jars are really expensive. I've seen them on Amazon, like they literally work out to be £2.50, £3 a jar. It's kind of ridiculous, and I know, you know, they are meant to be the best kind of jars, but when the time is, guys, when I'm saying, when we're prepping, we're buying stuff for preparedness, I always say choose food over, not say over storage, but don't go and just blow your money on a silly, expensive kilner jar just because they're kilner. Invest money in a Mylar bag or a cheaper jars rather than spending your money on that. I'd rather spend more money on food itself, and that's why when I do my rice, when I buy rice, I buy the cheapest rice, because again, I'd much rather have 100 kilos of cheap rice than, you know, 20 kilos of expensive ones, because it's easier to cook. So here we go. Right, that's a piece. I can use, when I find my attachment for correct thing, I can vacuum seal that and just, you know, leave them sitting in there, but that will be fine for the purpose that I need them for. So, but yeah, that's a tablet to like soften them up, but I don't need that, so let's get rid of that. So we're going to nip back again. Right, so let's talk about rice. Right, so containers for rice, guys, right? It's totally, again, depend what you know, what you store in, how you store in this, and sort of what sort of term are you storing them for. I've got for the rice, I do the rice in, or have few of them in a big bags like that. I also have rice in a tubs like that, and at the same time I also have rice in those. Again, those things are more for like a really long term, so I can just put it under the bed or whatever. They're thick bags and it's great. And then those were more so that if I'm suddenly running out of rice for whatever reason, I can just grab a kilo and they take a kilo of rice perfectly. And then this is the same, you can just put, probably 10 kilos will go in that one. Few oxygen absorbers, metal tape, make sure it's airtight, and happy days. So I'm just going to wash that here. Right, so let's get some rice into one of those and I'll show you how I do that one. Obviously I got to be doing this anyway, so I'm somewhat limited on space here now. So, any other questions while this thing is powering up? Alright, so I found a teeny weeny hair straightener. So I used to use the big ones. I've got baby ones now. Just makes life a little bit easier. Is there any difference between the plastic and glass? Oh, plastic and glass jars. Yes. Well, apart from the price as well, but any plastic will eventually leach out air. It's just what it is. It will take a really long time, but the general rule is the thicker the plastic, the longer it will take for the air to penetrate through. So if we did an example like with the plastic things like this, it will take, say, it will take a couple of years for them to eventually leach air and obviously the food to expand. Yet those jars that I just showed you, I would expect that to sit there happily for a good few years, and this is why I use them for medium-term storage. So next time at some point I will show you, I'll use, and I put some grains in that, and I will put the oxygen absorbers in there, and then I'll just take the lid for the extra for the extra security, for extra air tightness, just in case. But generally, if you can afford glass, then absolutely. Let me just show you quickly. Right, so hold on. So you might have seen I had when I did the tour under my cupboard under here, I've got a few grains in the big vase like this. I used to get them from, oh my god, I think a Poundland, and for some reason I haven't bought enough of them, but they used to be like £1.50 for a massive one. It's brilliant. So if you can afford, or if you can find them, then buy them. They're really good. It's better than plastic, but it's all cost price dependent, guys. With, you know, all fairness, I think we're all in the same kind of boat there. If you can afford something better, obviously go for it. But as I said, I much rather spend my money into no food rather than the really expensive jars. But when they were cheap, it was, you know, it was a good thing to have. So let me just brush that back. So yeah, okay. That's it for questions for now then. All right, let's move on. So let's do the rice. Our thing is already worked. So again, do the same, guys. Do make sure, just check your rice, okay? Check for, because believe this or not, I was doing one of the packing sections before, okay, and I poured a rice in a big Mylar bag, and I've seen something black in the corner of my eye. Yes, it was a weevil inside it. So there I had to obviously get rid of all of this, and then I had to take everything that was nearby just in case, because obviously anything like this will just easily jump from one place to another, from one food to another, basically, so I say. So, right, it is type awkward, okay? If you had them standing ones, you can stand them up. This was odd, but, you know. And the rice will be everywhere. Okay. See, this it doesn't actually take the whole kilo. A little bit short. When you fill them up, guys, right? I just don't fill them right to the top, because you need the space to be able to obviously fold your bag, put the oxygen absorbers, and then seal that with the thing. So leave as much headspace as possible. At the same time, those bags, again, they're quite delicate. They're thick, but they're delicate. So if just imagine if you crease that a lot, you have a little pinhole, it won't work for your, the oxygen will get in there and it will deem your thing pointless anyway. So, right, so oxygen absorber, in there goes, in the bag, and then we are sealing that with, see, the less space you have, hopefully you get to see that, the more awkward it is to seal that. And then all you're going to do, okay, it gets really, really hot, so you have to be really careful. Okay, and just iron it on and make sure there's no gaps, because as I said, any tiny gap and it's pointless. I've got one of those impulse sealers, but I like to have a nice thick band of glue if you wish, so it makes it more airtight. So there we are. Hi Paul. Hello, anyone else who's joined if I missed somebody. So yeah, so now then all you gotta do is just label it. Just use a Sharpie. I just normally put rice, say 1 kg, which it wasn't actually quite, but put the dates. Today was 25th of 8/24, and then normally I just put with OA, with oxygen absorber. It's the only reason I've started doing that is because a little while back, I know that I haven't been putting this in the rice, I've just been sealing them before, and I've come across them like, does it have oxygen absorber or doesn't it have? Like, has it failed or I just forgot to put one in, that kind of thing. This way, if I've written with oxygen absorber, I'll know it's got OA in it, so if in a couple of days time, if the bag is not sucked in, that means the oxygen absorber didn't work, okay, so, or there's a failure in the bag, so that means I have to do that again. So this is my normal step, then it goes, put it away, it will sit somewhere for a couple of days. You'll start, generally if you're working, if it's a good OA, you'll start it working, you'll see it working within a couple of hours, but leave a couple of days. If it's not worked, unfortunately you have to go again, and it does happen. So, right, let's go with the big guys, right? Because I want to be able to get, oh, just turn this down for a minute. Right, I'll do the big one, okay? Again, if anybody still wants any questions, then just let me know. I find it still strange to talking to you guys and Not strange this way, but it's just weird. Right, okay. This is what you could do with 2 people doing that. Right. See? Pain in the egg. Right, let's get this a little bit in. Oh yeah, I'll show you inside that bag in a second. Hold on. They are, you can see that hopefully, they're much thicker. I've got really thicker plastic coating, so let's get more rice in. And I still keep those afterwards in, yes Paul, sorry, yes, Mylar bag, long-term storage, yes. Absolutely. As I said, I've got, generally have short-term, medium-term and long-term storage for the things like that. As I probably said this many times, I don't put like all my eggs in one basket and I don't put all my preps in one place. So I'll have, underneath there in the cupboard, you might have seen, if you've seen, I've got obviously some grains and stuff at the back. I've got on the counter on the other side, I have those little glass jars with the imminent use of, say, rices and pastas like that. In the kitchen cupboard, I'll have then a plastic tubs, but proper airtight plastic tubs to replenish the kitchen ones, and then other stuff in the different locations in then Mylar bags or in those big plastic boxes. See those, there's 3. And I do prefer, to be fair, if those tabs were black and opaque, that would be absolutely perfect. Something you can invent, something like that you can just stuff things up, because with the Mylar bags, you've got to then still have to put them in a box, but you don't really want to be moving them about, if that makes sense. Once you fill them up, you just want to put them and leave them be, because you don't have any holes. But you've got to still keep an eye on and check your long-term storage once in a while. Now the beauty as well, guys, sorry, with the Mylar bags, because they're so thick, not just something that can't get in, but if for any reason something's inside and if it survives the oxygen absorber, or if it didn't work, it can't get out. So if you keep stuff together, basically if one bag, God forbid, gets contaminated, your other storage that's next to it should be absolutely safe. So how many we've got in there? 1, 2, 3, we've got 5 in there. See, like that's 5 kilos of rice in here. I think you can put another one in. I think I normally do them at 5, but I can read the last comment. So the basement, Paul, mine's all tin stuff in the basement. Yeah, I would love a basement. Gosh, that's like my dream. Just imagine all the wine you can keep in there, and preps, and rice. I think a lot of people in America, I know it's probably perception, but have basements. In UK, or then already like Victorian houses have some basements. But right, nonetheless, so I need to clean that up. Let's put this on. So 6 kilos of rice. Okay, that's a lot. I'm gonna put 2 oxygen absorbers in there. It sounds a bit like a waste, but I said, guys, if it doesn't work, it's cheaper for me to put 2 of the oxygen absorbers in than to redo and waste the whole massive Mylar bag. So better be safe than sorry. Right, okay, so get as much air out as possible in this instance. I've got like a little ziploc as well. If anybody got any other questions, guys, well, obviously I'm going to be doing this anyway, not necessarily related to that thing right this second, but any other prepping questions you have, you might as well just ask away. I haven't done a live stream for a very long time. I used to in the evenings, and I think it did well, but I stopped for some reason. Well, I had the child, and yeah, it was a bit harder, so I might start doing them now. Right, so air is out, okay, and let's get that sealed. When you do this, make sure you check that it's definitely sealed. I've done this before, and I put this on the side, and all the rice fell out. It was fun. Oh, lovely kitchen, thanks. Apparently my kitchen offends a lot of people because it's grey and not very bright and very empty, but I like it. You should see the other side of it. Right, so Let me show you, sorry. Hopefully you get to see that, guys. So you can see that it's literally just melts the plastic together. Okay. I haven't undone the cable yet. Here we are. Here we go. I'm in front of you now. Right. It does get super hot though. And it's a tad awkward with the handles, so I have to go around it doing that. And for all of you who just recently joined, guys, I'm sorry filming this way because YouTube said you can only film this way. And obviously the microphone, my sound is just me. It wouldn't accept the microphone through YouTube as well. A bit daft. Okay, right, so there we are. See that? Hopefully you can see that. It's sealed, it's hot, so let that pop to the side. Right, okay then, so let me just clear this up, guys. Yeah. You can use one of those other little sealers, but you end up having the top part and relying, say, 6 kilos of rice or anything, or just lovely like one seal thing. It's not something I want to do. So using that, you know, you guarantee like a thicker thing. So right, can I just get rid of that? Sorry, I'll turn my hair straighteners off. Sorry, creates a lot of mess when I do that. Hold on, put this on this side. Right, let's have a go at the that. So yes, I'll put the link for. Sorry, I put the link for the Mylar bags. If the video gets published, which I don't know because the beginning was a bit iffy, I'll put this in the description. If not, I'll put this in the community post with my links. Okay, so. So would I be able to do a video on pressure canning? Yes, I've done actually some videos. I did pressure can tomato sauce, like the pasta sauces. I've done some fruits. You can search my YouTube thing. Search for the canning, but I will do more. I've done actually water bath canning. I've done some apple sauce, which I will get to publish really soon. But yes, I'll do more on the canning because I know we are behind as a nation on canning, and many people want to start. And obviously, people say it's a bit scary, but yes. So right, the bags. So the roll, obviously, as long as you wish. So depends what are you doing. So again, the example was, guys, and again, this is what never really again for long term. I've done some soup mix. That's been done the same thing in the vacuum pack. That was done on the 12th, so December 2022, so it's been almost 2 years, and as you can see, the bag has failed me. So again, if I haven't checked the space or the pantry where they were stored, unfortunately, again, this is useless. They might just be in the initial bag that I paid. So in a way, it's very frustrating. So we'll repackage them for something else. But for example, let's go with the oats, okay? Something that will put in, say, medium-term storage. So couple of years before the bag breaks, they'll be absolutely fine. Just to demonstrate to you how that would work. So they come in obviously bags like that. Let's plug the machine. Right, okay. So this one is a little bit away. So, okay, vacuum machine, vacuum sealer. You've got your buttons. Generally, every machine will have a seal button, dry button, moist, like if you do meat, you can vacuum seal meat and freeze them, which is good. And then vacuum button and accessory. This is to seal your jars if you're using it. So first things you do, cut yourself the desired amount. You kind of do this on the eye really, but say, here we go, put that in there. I always end up overdoing that, but okay. So got yourself a piece cut, so you have a line in here, Okay, this is the strip that gets hot, and this will seal your bag first of all. So leave yourself like a centimeter over the top, click it in and press seal. This one does take a while to do so. So the botulism, yes, I know. This is the reason why people are so scared to do it. The botulism obviously could be deadly, and it's a toxin that's produced in the oxygen-free environment by whatever it preserves. So there's a lot of conflicting information, and I strongly suggest to do your research properly, because many people say, oh, botulism get killed at 100 degrees Celsius. In fact, it doesn't. It is 126 degrees. And if you're boiling something like a water bath canning, you don't achieve that sort of temperature. So you have to be really careful. But you're only applicable to a low acidity foods like meats, potatoes, vegetables. So you have to be really careful. But I've got like OCD, and I normally take extra step further in terms of adding on the acid to the stuff. But anyway, so you can see that hopefully it's sealed. You can do this twice if you wanted to, just to double check the seal. But basically created now a bag, right? So, but yeah, the canning, it's amazing. But again, to be fair, I mean, I don't can meat. I've done this before, but I'm not something that I'm doing for as a preparedness. And purely, guys, for the reason of, first of all, for me to be able to stock, say, 100 jars of meat, and fresh meat. Well, meat is very expensive, first of all. And by the time I bought the jars, and then have to find time to process that, obviously it still takes electricity, because I still have to warm up, the stove, let it get to the pressure, that kind of thing. It just takes a long time, and it takes a lot of money. I appreciate that you can put what you want in it, but for me to say I have 100 tins of stewed steak or something else from the supermarket, yes, it has additives in it, it has bits and bobs in it, but for £100, I've got 100 tins, and I'm fine with that. For £100, by the time I bought the jars and say included the electricity and meat, I might be able to get 20 jars. And again, for me, for a long-term preparedness, is quantity over quality, because I know in terms of the food stability and vitamins, I can substitute with my own garden and dehydrated goods. So anyway, guys, so that's now put this in a bag. So I'm positioning it here. There is a little thing here where the air gets sucked out. So when you position the bag, you got to put it, hopefully you get to see that, sorry, in those bit here, and make sure it's kind of not kinked or anything else, right? And hold this in place, lock it in. Right, so I'll show you, hopefully it gets from the side. So I like to make it flat, because once the machine sucks it in, if you put it as a whole blob, it will just be a blob, and it'll be difficult to store, because this way you can stack them up nicely. So okay, and then we put dry, and you'll see it sucking in, and it will dry, it will suck in the moisture, air, and then it will seal this by itself, and then tell me when it's done. Yeah, freezing rice. Yeah, I did kind of said that earlier. I don't freeze my rice anymore, or flour, because you just don't know the content of moisture. I know this is counterproductive in terms of the time and probably space in the freezer for the time being. But for me, it was just purely the moisture content that we're just not aware of. And by the time you put this in there, you can't see it. And if you're relying on your say rice long term, you don't know what you're gonna get. At least with the normal rice, even if the oxygen absorber fails over the time and you get some bugs in there, for example, extra protein, right? And they won't escape the Mylar bag, so you can just rinse them off. People say you can consume bugs as extra anyway, so, extra protein. So there we are. So here we go then. You can see nice and flat. So again, I will seal that just one more time on the top. They say 2 is 1, 1 is none. So if one seal fails, I've got another one. Here we go, just seal it one more time. Any other guys, anything else? Any other questions? So that takes about 20 seconds to seal. So you can see, right, if you're doing the whole batch thing, just taking taken a while. And actually, I didn't actually take, but I found a whole drawer of my dehydrated bits from a long time ago with those kind of bags, and seem to be on a 2-year date. They've unfortunately failed. So some instances I have some dehydrated apples and they become like pliable, so I have to get it out, probably put them in the oven or dehydrator and then repackage them again. So here we are, oats. I should have sealed that twice as well actually, but never mind. And then of course just write on it oats 1 kg and today's day. I always wondered why I bother putting a date when you actually put it in, considering, but just sometimes you look at it, it's like, oh my god, it's been 2 years since I've last done it, you know, time flies by, doesn't it? So here we go, right, let's put that away. Let's do, what should we do first? Oh yeah, let's do flour then. Right, flour is pain in the eye, unfortunately, because it's just messy, it just goes everywhere. Right, so, okay, let's do that one again. So, flour, again, don't freeze the flour, like we said. And the reason I showed you earlier, I'm not putting in a vacuum sealer because they break. And with the flour, I think, because I'm a bit behind with the flour prep. Because at some point I'm like, you know what, I'm not bothering, I'm just not doing it because, you know, what's the point? You're still potentially getting bugs in it. I don't know, I just wasn't. But I've actually mastered some good recipes for bread in the air fryer, which I will be sharing with you. Because I'm doing a review on one of the new air fryers again, and I'll be baking some bread and then I'll do the video. So anyway, sorry, flours. I found actually, to be fair as well, as the bread flour, seemed to be rather good. I normally don't like Asda for the preps because their stuff's a bit choy, but right. Okay, so they're 1.5 kilo bags, so we'll get, I think 3. Yeah, I've got 3 now, so 3 will go into my bag. And again, like I mentioned, guys, anything the powdery, when you put the oxygen absorber in, it doesn't always suck in the bag, if that makes sense. You can buy if you are thinking of doing it, you can buy big bags of flour, obviously online. They work out a little bit dearer though than buying them individually, but if you bake a lot, you can buy a lot and then do that with the bags. Okay, 2, okay, 3. I'm talking more than I'm doing, aren't I? That's what happens for the camera in front and I'm just chatting away. Okay. But you guys do share, again, any other questions or any other thoughts on, or any other ideas in fact, on packaging something, please share. Right, so flour. Flour is a bit annoying because you can see it just makes absolute mess. So I'm going to put 2 OAs in there. Let's plug the strings in. Okay. One. And 2. Hopefully they're still streaming okay. Right. Yeah, getting the air out again. Careful. There's a little poof. A bit of flour in your face if you're not careful. I'm actually surprised a few people join. I thought like Sunday afternoon, few people have something better to do than watch me packaging my long-term food storage. But I think, guys, what do you reckon if I did more, not necessarily like this, the same stuff, but if I did more of a live, say if I'm, I don't know, maybe live canning or something, right? And just put the camera in, just do what I do, and you can just pop in, you know, say hello and ask some questions. And or doing my live streams like I used to do on certain nights, like once every couple of weeks maybe or so. Let me know which thing. So anyway, got as much air as possible, and obviously we go ahead and seal that. bigger hair straighteners in this instance would be a tad easier, but... Can you just somebody make sure that you guys, you can actually hear me, please? Because I feel like it's all gone quiet. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, cool. Just making sure, because I'm delayed, really delayed on myself there, so for all I know, I'm just keep talking nonsense and nobody can hear me. Okay, right, so there we are. I think that's good. So again, it's a bit dodgy on the black one, that's the thing, you can't really write. Okay, cool. So you can write on that, you can just about see, but on the light. So I've got flour, how many did I do? 3. So 4.5 kg. Obviously put the bread flour. So what do you reckon about the live streaming stuff? I said not, you know, my everyday cooking stuff, but maybe canning or live streams. Just let me know what you think. So bread flour, so 25th, 824. Here we go. Right. In that plops. Right, okay, let's deal with grain. So my thought with the grain, because see, annoyingly, as I said, it's now broke. I can't be dealing with that because, well, I don't have any bugs getting in there. So I kind of checked over, it looks okay. So you're covered, yeah. Thank you. I do obviously do a lot of talking to the camera, but at least my point is I'm trying to share my knowledge, because I know obviously we all guys have different levels at the moment or of preparedness. You know, some people are just starting, some, you know, some have been prepping longer than I have been doing. But as the time goes on, obviously I never stop researching things, you know, like anything to do with the food now. If you've been watching like me and Mark, just things about food industry and what we really consuming and stuff like that. I see I even had some OAs in there, clearly pointless. So yeah, so I do try to learn, so I'm trying to obviously just pass on the knowledge and research to you guys. And I know some, you already know the majority, but there's bound to be something that's, oh no, not going to fit in. Ah. This is annoying, you know, I love it when you pick it up and something fits 100% in the back, in the box, that's great, but it's not, so. Mikey, are you saying you need to go? Is there something helpful you can do? Right, hold on. Again, I only said, guys, I'm just doing this because I'm just doing this anyway. I'm only here just if anybody, yeah, just wants to pop in and ask questions, that's all. Because I just it's got to be done. Otherwise, I have like bags and bags sitting there, and I'm like, they need to go. I need to package them, but they need to go. So, right, okay. What I'm going to do, I think I've got the little one, I bought one of those. I might add it on here later. So I have put, actually I have some of those. I have put some OAs with them and then take them, which I'll sure do. Cool. Awesome. Right, okay. So let's do, I think I need to do more rice, guys. So I'm gonna just continue doing more rice. More rice. Let me show you, actually, I'll go with the wide one. So they're the ones I took a whole kilo. Yeah, some things on Amazon, like bags, you used to be able to get them for like $8.99. The price jumped to like 34 quid. 34 pounds for certain months. Taking that Mickey Michael. Yeah, it's actually, the weather-wise, just so I mentioned as I'm doing this, it's actually just peeing it down the rain. It's ridiculous. We had the nice dry one day, and then it's, after that storm, and then we just have rain. It's depressing. So it's a good time to do that kind of stuff. You're prepping stuff in the shitty weather. Here we go. Right, here we go. See, those ones, just by having the extra bit at the bottom, it will take a kilo. And that's good. It's a shame I don't have any more. So in there goes. I think it's the last one. Oh no, we've got one more. So I'm going to put 2 more. See, ideally, again, you can just fill them with rice or whatever you're doing. Line them up, and then you can then iron them all at once. Which I should be doing. Okay. Here we go. Let's get. Make sure I test the rice again. And again, I did mention to you guys, didn't I? Pay attention to your rice closely now. It's gone from being sort of like a nice long grain to rice, broken rice. And I remember a little while back when there was the rice issues a couple of years ago, and they were saying that we're going to stop export of rice from Africa, blah blah. And people were saying, we're going to be starting getting a broken up rice, which is technically something that's like pretty much swept off the bottom of the floor. And yes, it looks like we are getting the quality of rice. It's check out the post on my I think community I did, or on my Instagram, when I showed you the picture actually what the rice used to be like from the same brand and what it looks like now. It's actually shocking. So if you only need to take something a little bit out of a Mylar bag, do you reseal and do oxygen absorbers? You can do, absolutely. The only trouble is, right, if you see with those ones, the bags here, the majority of the Mylar bags, they do have a little tear strip on the top. So let me just put that in there. And so you can, obviously, after you tear it, you can reuse the Ziploc to do it. But again, we're talking about, the reason I'm doing the Mylar bags, this is for me for long-term storage. So I have rice in, obviously in my worktop, in a glass jar for imminent, in the kitchen cupboard, in the plastic, like airtight, just like a Tupperware type thing. And then I have it somewhere else in the things like that. So if I do need to top up either one or the other, I'll use that. Because again, if you look at the rice, on the date on the rice, it's generally got a couple years date anyway. So you don't really need to worry about anything happening to rice. So again, and why would you want to waste money on the Mylar bags if you're only using that, you know, for your short-term storage? But yeah, otherwise, just tear the bag and take some rice out. I wouldn't really put away in there, just kind of not going to be worth it. Hopefully that answers your question. Basically, if you're using the Mylar bag, long-term storage, put it away, forget about it. Okay, that'll be something that you get to open 20 years down the line, or not. Let's hope. I think many of us think that hopefully we don't really get to open or need to open our Mylar bags 20 years down the line, but who knows, you know, it's one of those things. And again, there's some people say, well, like, you rotate stuff is a prep and pantry. Yes, of course you rotate, but I wouldn't rotate my Mylar bags. They're there, they're set for life. Like a lottery. Yeah, they're set there, they'll sit there for years, and I don't feel the need to rotate them, because that would just be waste of money. Waste of money on Mylar bags, waste of money on oxygen absorbers. So, there we are. Oh, they're getting hot. Right, okay, so this is our rice. Nice 1 kg. Put it away. Sorry guys, needs to be done, Right, okay, so thank you, Mikey, thank you. I'm trying to, you know, teach people. See, I forgot now, because I'm talking, I forgot now whether I put the oxygen absorbers in there. I must have done, mustn't I? Because that's what happens. Right, okay. Right, let's now do, I did mention to you guys, right, is the crackers. I've been buying them well, recently, and I said I've Mylar packed some, like little ones in the thick bags, but it was a bit too, the bags are too thick. But again, it's something, it's a bit weird. And I know in America, guys like, yeah, you can buy like cheese crackers, the little ones like this, you know, round ones. They put them in the jars like this, because in America you can buy like a really wide mouth ones, and you can put them in there, sack them in with the vacuum seal over the top, and it's great. Like for us, those jars are stupid if you can find them. So again, things like this, okay, I think they're a great prepping thing, because they'll sit there for a while anyway, and they'll start getting, over the time, just start getting soggy. They're pretty much like a hardtack. They're not really intended to go moldy, it's just flour and water type thing, plus a couple other stuff, you know. But I still choose to buy them and one of those like breadsticks, okay. I don't Mylar pack the breadsticks, but I felt the need to Mylar pack some more of those crackers. Unfortunately, right, you got to just look at them and they break. So we have to be super careful. And at the moment, guys, they are very cheap. They're 49p, I think I paid, or 50p from Tesco. So, right, messy flour. Okay. So I've done some for actually the MREs. If you haven't seen my video of MREs for meals ready to eat for an emergency, this is when if we have no power, if you've got no access to power, or if it's in your bag, in your car bag, whatever. Have a look. But I have packaged some of the those crackers in the Mylar bags, like in a packs of 3 or 4 as a snack, with a little like you can buy some little honeys or little jams in a tiny, not the ones you get in the hotels when you stay, like the little ones in the morning. So that's a good thing, okay? So, right. The reason why we won't use the those bags when we use the crackers, because the sheer pressure of that bag crashing in when the vacuum comes in, it will squash those things to an absolute powder. So put some in there, okay? Don't ram them in too much. Get the OA in there. Again, you could say it's a waste of Mylar bag, right? Because it's super cheap for their stuff, but as a prep, I always say variety is a key of certain things to snack, and especially if you have little kids. Good luck, you know, trying to feed your child something healthy or a bit of rice and beans when if that's all you have type thing. They want crackers and dippers and stuff like that. So there we are. So oxygen absorber is in. I'm just going to seal the bag. Okay. It will get sucked in, but not as way as much as the rice. Okay. There we go. Should have actually counted how many crackers. How many of you counted? Who watched closely? Right, so, okay, anyway. Crackers with a 24. Right, okay. So, that's done. So I think, guys, I need to let's put those aside. I'll do that for later on, because I don't think I'm going to keep you for all of this stuff. All I need to be doing this anyway, so I might just be doing it. But any other questions for anything else whilst I'm going to do, oh yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Let's do some more rice. I need to get rid of rice, so rice needs to go. I might do 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, okay. I'm going to do another big one of rice. Yeah, I'm gonna. I can't believe we don't have any more questions. Come on, peeps. I'm here for your entertainment. Not entertainment, sorry, no, that's what I'm doing. Right, so let's get more rice. Some of my thoughts or some remove them. So no comments about the live show and anything else, apart from obviously I'm covering majority of what it is I do on the channel anyway. If you haven't subscribed, and if somebody's watching not subscribed, have a look through. I literally yeah, pretty much cover everything, ins and outs of preparedness. and some kitchen reviews and some other reviews, including a very nice beer machine, which I done a review the other day. It's super amazing. Oh, what made me start prepping journey in the first place? Well, I was born in Eastern Europe, and my grandma had they had a flat, and then normally you have a country house, just somewhere you on the outskirts of wherever town city you live. And I used to go there for summer holiday and then holidays in between. And my grandma used to be, it's kind of like a second nature, because at the time you have cows around, we had the fresh milk. She had like an acre where, we're growing fruits and vegetables, that kind of thing. And to me, I'd grown up with that, and seeing all the jars of certain recipes, like my favorite tomato, the tomatoes, pickled tomatoes and stuff like that. I just kind of grown up with that. And to me, like growing my own stuff, it's always been, and of course preserving my own stuff, it's always been something that I did. And to be fair, before even the prepping, the word prepper came out from, obviously clearly from Americans, but generally I've always had a pantry full. I've always grown. As soon as we bought our own first place, I've grown stuff from the day one. It was one of the main things I wanted to do. And for me, it's more so the part of want to be like self-sufficient and have a food in your pantry. For me, right, from the way I've been brought up, my scary thing, when we used to entertain a lot before we had a little one, and I always had the people come around and cook dinner. The thing I was always afraid of, right, whether it's like not the fact is people gonna like or not like my food, it's whether people are gonna walk away hungry, right? I have this, not say paranoia, but I always want to make sure that if people come to my house, I'm doing dinner or even if it's snacks, I want people to walk away with a full belly. And from that, it's kind of the same thing. I want to make sure I have food. I want to make sure I don't go without anything, just in case somebody pops in. Somebody needs, do you know what I'm saying? It's always been one of those. And because I've seen my grandma always making sure that people are fed when they come to her house, her pantry is always full of, the jars of the stuff that she preserved. She always grew stuff as well. We had like animals, on the doorstep, that kind of thing. It's it kind of stayed with me. It was something that I just always wanted to do. And I always found it's very important as well, is to be able to pass this on to your kids, to the children. Because nowadays, I think everybody's so reliant on the supermarket. Not really idea where the stuff is coming from or how to deal with specific things. But to be fair, with itchy nose then, with comes to the prepping part, it's all really started to be called, we all started to be called preppers from Americans in the past few years. And I think many people think, and many people have started prepping from the COVID times, but by then, again, we had the scare of the European Union, and I think many people kind of stocked up on certain things. I already had a pantry full of stuff anyway, and I'm not generally one of those people that go up and sort of, clear the shelf of specific thing. I just pick up bits and bobs all the time and build up the resilience that way. So when the European Union thing, obviously, they was scaring us that we're not going to have olive oils and such and such. Obviously, I popped in and yes, I bought some more olive oil and some other specific, more like a luxury items like cold meats or something that I could put in the freezer, that kind of thing. But generally, I was already done. But then obviously after COVID, and I've said this to you guys I think before, I was pregnant in the middle of the pandemic. And unfortunately, it all escalated pretty fast. And I literally was in the middle of pandemic and heavily pregnant. I had all the preparedness done, we had nappies and everything else, but I didn't unfortunately wasn't prepared for a shortage of baby formula, because I didn't think I didn't need the baby formula, because obviously I was intending to feed the child naturally. But unfortunately, because I had to have emergency operation, I wasn't able to do so. So when obviously all kicked off, there was one thing that was short of. And as you can imagine, as a new mum, could barely just walk after the operation and having a newborn. One thing was to worry about is getting a baby formula, because there was none or very little available. And then when you go to the supermarket, the ladies at the checkout to say that yes, because people used to come in and literally swipe the baby food just because they couldn't buy any milk, so they're buying the baby food to put this in their tea. So that's wonderful. There's the people that can't actually feed their children because there's no food available, but I'm glad that somebody there bought the baby formula to put in their milk, because in their tea, because they couldn't have a black tea or black coffee. So from that point onwards, it just gave me that bit of extra, how to say it really, an extra kick up the bum to, and I'm not going to say overthink it, but I'm certainly trying to think of more aspect than just having the full pantry. And if you now, obviously, if you watch the channel, you know exactly what I mean by that. I'm no longer just a woman that just, you know, have my full pantry of food. There is obviously other things that I'm now doing thanks to that lovely scenario and to those lovely people that left many mothers like me unable to feed my child. So that's, yeah, this is something that gives me an extra kick up the bum to make sure I try to cover every aspect of preparedness. So hopefully that answers the question in a roundabout way. So do I have a favourite recipe that I recommend to new viewers? Oh my goodness, that's a what, from the prepper pantry or generally? And Daniel was asking what's for dinner. Go away. Sorry, to be fair, I cook obviously a lot of things, and obviously a lot of it from scratch, so let me just stress on that. But I don't specifically have one I share. I started doing the whole channel, started with a cooking channel. I started like 7 years ago, but how many rice have I put in there? How many packs of rice? I didn't know, sorry. Again, that's what happens, guys. I think I put 4 kilos. Or not, oh my god. Let's put 5 kilos, sorry. Sorry, rice. I'm just proving this wrong, that women can do 2 things and multitask. And I've just lost my line. Anyway, sorry. Yes, favorite recipe. I don't share. I started the channel with the cooking thing, but I found that there was a lot of cooking channels about, and I didn't really know a lot about the YouTube and how the things work, how algorithm worked. So I did a lot of nice recipes, but they didn't really take off. Again, probably because of my lack of my knowledge. But to be fair, the recipe he loves like lasagnas and spag bowls. I like fish. I like to cook like white fish or red fish with certain things. So I don't specifically have a favorite recipe, but I think if we go with the prepper pantry, the recipe, first my pickled tomatoes, okay, they don't require pressure canning, is a good one, and I absolutely love them. So again, you can search for tomatoes, you'll find them. And then I think the other one was the from the prepper pantry I'll go with is the thing that I used, I can't remember what I was called it, but when you use the tinned meat, like tinned pork meat, and you basically kind of prepare this in the gelatine, and it's really nice with a horseradish. So it's a preppy ones. They're I think two of my favorite ones. But again, I'll try to share more recipes. So just the time really, guys, to be able to kind of do that. Right, I'm talking rather than doing. Let me just read. Yeah. So I can see, yeah, so you started about the Ukraine. I think many people started prepping because of the invasion of Ukraine, but a lot of this stuff, hold on, let me just think how I need to pack again. I do some more rice. Yeah, a lot of people started from that, but a lot of that, again, there's a lot of kind of information out there to say about, you know, that specific countries stopping, you know, exports and stuff. It's a little bit far-fetched. It's not quite what media makes up stuff to be. But with the farmers, absolutely. Whatever's happening currently with the farming thing. If any of you guys not saying into the farming, but as I said, I cover many things, and part of the preparedness is understanding what is actually going on in the world, and especially in the food industry type thing. And yes, what's happening with the farmers is atrocious. You know, governments are paying farmers not to farm and to plant some flowers for the bees, that kind of thing. You know, they're taking their land away for scientific interests and for solar farms and things like that. And all that is in fact taking away our growing space for farmers. We as a country self-sufficient by about 20%. So you can imagine, right? If they're taking away even more farmland, we're literally, oh, that's going to be going wrong. We're going to struggle like mad. And again, strongly suggest, guys, have a watch on my live selection of videos is the interview with Mark, not interview, it's chats with a farmer, okay? And we cover every aspect of what's currently happening in the farming and the supermarket industry and anything to do with the food. And the food of quality of our vegetables, it is atrocious, and you'll find out why, because obviously they've been sitting in the system for like, 6 months, that kind of thing. This is why you pick up, sorry, what I'm doing. Pick up a potatoes, a bag of potatoes, which I bought a couple of times. It's all black on the inside. It's like Mark said, yeah, it's been sitting in the warehouse somewhere for 6 months, and then sitting in a Tesco's for another few, and it just makes you realise how fragile our whole system of food. And because obviously people don't really grow anymore, and this is another point why I'm filming and trying to encourage people to grow stuff, even a little bit, is just trying to take create a little bit of a buffer, guys, from the for what's happening, and to be able to, even if you can supply yourself just a little bit of something, because at some point, and obviously it is coming, Mark said, we are going to be having food shortages. It's already happening. Like we said about carrots, a lot of carrots are imported from like China, and Mark said they look like they've been manufactured because they just grow them in hydroponically, and they're just all the same but have no nutritional value whatsoever. So yeah, it just there's a lot going on. So please, guys, watch those videos to support, because I'm trying to, as part of obviously the channel, to spread that understanding of what is happening, for people to understand that if this continues that way, we are absolutely buggered as a country and individually. Yes, great stocking up, it's a good backup, but without the fresh, fruit and veg, it's going to be really, really struggling. So, hi Marianne, hello, and sorry, reading the line. So, do I pressure can or water bath can? I do both. But as I said, I do very little meat at the moment because of the price, the cost involved into doing that. So I normally water bath can, like tomatoes, that kind of thing. I'll pressure can. I've done it. Actually done even tomato sauce, like tomato ketchup. Oh, first and last time I got to say that. Sorry. Yes, because things like tomato ketchup, although it actually tastes very much more natural and better than the stuff you get from all the brands, but oh my goodness, I think it took me about 4 hours of boiling it down to get it to the consistency you wanted to do. But generally, sorry, to ask the question, yes, I water bath can and a pressure can, and as I mentioned earlier to somebody, I will be doing more of that on the channel. It's just, you gotta appreciate the time. It's difficult because my hob is right behind me, and to kind of film this, I end up going back and forth, but I will do more of that, yeah, because obviously I know there's a demand for that for people. So how do I know which new recipes to try next? Well, to be fair, I'm one of those people, if I grow, which is currently, obviously we're coming to the end of the growing season, I kind of try to cook what I have going, especially if the stuff is growing. So if I had, the other day, for example, we had some beans, I harvested, so first batch was 9.5 kilos of my potatoes, and some green beans, obviously I grow chard, pumpkins, tomatoes, cucumbers, that kind of thing. So the other day, all I had to do was just to get some meat, and I cooked my own, obviously my own potatoes, my own veg, a little bit of salad, that kind of thing. So I don't specifically go and suddenly say, how do I think of a new recipe? The stuff, I just cook what's about, and then sometimes if I go to the supermarket and I see, a fancy bit of chicken, and then I'll consider what I have, say, in my garden to go with it, or what I have in my fridge, and then I just try to take it from there. But generally the stuff just comes to me, if that makes sense. I think, I've watched, obviously, my grandma and my mum for years of doing and cooking different stuff. I'm very open to the flavour combinations. Obviously, I travelled a lot when I was younger. We travelled a lot before we had a child. So it's just things, I don't know. I think if you're a foodie, if you love food like I do, you kind of just, it just comes to you. And if you feel, when you cook yourself, you tailor what you want to eat to, because you know what you're doing, don't you? So you kind of, sorry, I'm creating a right mess. So yeah, I don't specifically, it just comes to me. I want something and I'll just find a way of what I want to go with it. So yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. I know it's a long-winded answer, but yeah, I have a lot of cooking books. I've read a lot of cooking books, and I think sometimes if you see something you like, it kind of like set back in your head. And I think sometimes you cook something like, oh, I wonder what I know in this, and then you might see it in a book that you know seen like a couple of years back. So yeah, basically that. So. So Marianne, you're asking about the best prices in Mylar bags and other goods. You said the best bag? Sorry, guys, the light's blinding me. I'm struggling to read. At best prices. Sorry. Well, the bags, the Mylar bags. I said I bought some before on Amazon, which were good, and then suddenly the prices went up a lot. So I bought my selection of those. I bought 100. I think it was 100 or 200 of them, and they were like $12.99 on eBay, and they're actually fairly good bags. With the auction absorbers, look at that mess. You've never seen my kitchen so messy, have you? Yeah, with the auction absorbers, they are, and I put the link, Marianne, I put the link in either underneath this video if it goes out, or on the in the community post. They are $9.99 for 50, and they are 500 cc's. Each 500 cc is enough to pack up call it a 5 litre bag. I put double because sometimes they do fail, like everything in life. So, but yeah, this is the places. Yes, a lot of people choose not to kind of support the large corporations in terms of obviously give them, excuse me, got flour in the mouth. Not support big organizations like obviously the Amazon, but I'm of the opinion, obviously we're trying to do our best and support the local farmers who are buying certain things like milk and everything else. But when it comes to purchasing stuff off Amazon, and again it's purely my opinion, if I need to buy auction absorbers and they're £10 on Amazon, or they'll be £30 from independent store online, I'm sorry, I will go to Amazon and I pay £10. At the end of the day, we all, you know, we have our you know, financial limits, and especially with the preparedness, you've got to be so careful, especially when we're prepping for a really long time. You're going to want to have more food, don't you? So unfortunately in this instance, yeah, I'll go where the things are cheaper, just how it is. But don't get me wrong, guys, you know, if you want to support the local businesses, the trouble is, not say local businesses because they're not local, because they're online, but half of the time those people, obviously those bags, no doubt, the bags actually, would be made in China. And just because you think, say, because you buy on Amazon because, you know, somebody else bought them from China and obviously child labor, blah, blah, potentially, whatever reason people choose not to. But then you buy this from that person that sells it for £30 online, and guess what? They would have came from the same factory and the same child would made them. Is you just line the pocket of somebody else's business as a profit. Again, it's personal choice if that's what people like to do. Because I know there's many ideologies there on what people feel is right and wrong in the purchasing, but again, they're such a personal choices. So if people choose to do that, then it's fine too. I go where it's cheaper because, well, you know, I go with what my family needs and where the finances allow. So this is what it is, right? Mikey says farmers are not producing due to the price of fertilizer. Yes, fertilizer prices have been obviously going up a lot. Again, if you watch our conversations with Mark, but they're trying to use obviously find alternatives and the cheaper alternatives. But it's not the reason, not the main reason why. Okay, farmers are choosing to sell off farms because of the incentives the government gives them. Okay, it's cheaper for farmers to get paid. Like in a sense, let's talk about the when they get paid for flowers. So if the farmer was growing grain, okay, say it had 100 acres of grain, now the government's offering them £400 per acre or £600 per acre, say, if they just plant flowers. The point is, if the farmer just plant flowers, they don't have to do anything. They don't need equipment apart from just planting them and leaving them alone. They need the manpower to then harvest it or storing the grain. They're just that. So many farmers actually choosing to find an easy option, because obviously the life of a farmer is quite tough. So many choosing to go for incentives like this. So they basically stop planting food and plant flowers because government encourages them and gives them money. And again, I said it's something, obviously don't want to get too much in the details, but have a listen to our chats with Mark, and we cover literally, because he's a farmer, he's got like 90 acres. We cover everything when we talk about the farming, and really give people a good understanding of what is actually going on, not just what you kind of see, because many say news establishments kind of fobbing stuff to a specific way, so this is just because of that. It's a bigger picture going on out there, guys, bigger picture. So you just have to have a look. Okay, so right, I don't think there's any more questions. I think, guys, I'm starting to lose my voice. I have a little bit left now, which I think I'll finish off, but I think I've covered, so hold on, who's there? Sorry, I'm just reading the comments. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm glad, guys, you found, obviously, who will find our chats helpful. I said, hopefully those live chats are come up in your feed. If they don't, we do them pretty much every other Sunday. We will try to do this every Sunday, but obviously both have commitments, so it's a bit hard to find the time. But we're trying to cram in as much as possible in those little chats. And not say don't pay attention to the thumbnails. They just is a snippet of certain things we actually cover, because there's many aspects of our food security. So it's not just farming, but it's a food security we cover. So if you don't see the stuff coming up in your feed potentially for the live stuff, check back and click on the live tab. Oh, I can feel the heat. Check the live tab and obviously have a look through the videos. They always go uploaded like the following morning after we finish chatting. And obviously any other videos, guys, you can search. I only just myself realized I can search my own channel for like keywords. So if you're specifically looking something you can't find under the playlist, search there, search keywords like whether you want canning or preserving or specific veg or something, and if anything that's been related to that should come up in your search. Okay, so so any other questions, guys, for anything else before because I'm due to cook a roast dinner like in very soon, and I think somebody's very hungry. So yeah, because I've got to just finish off a few bits and bobs, and yeah, if anything else, guys, you want to ask, just fire away whilst I'm just putting some stuff away. And then otherwise, you probably have had enough of hearing me talking at you. To the other side. Good, thank you, guys. Well, I hope everybody's found this helpful. Well, at least some of you found it helpful. That's good, that's good. I'm really pleased. So again, anything else, guys, any questions you ever have, every time the video gets published, you can comment. Any questions are normally there as soon as the video comes out, to be able to pick up any questions, or as soon as I possibly can anyway. So well, thank you guys for joining me, and well, I'll see you on the next video very soon, no doubt. Bye bye. And then you can turn it off now. Somehow.